There are people who wake up every single day with a fire in their chest and pretend everything is fine. They force a smile through the burn, carry conversations while hiding the tightness rising in their throat, and push through another meal knowing that just one bite might be enough to trigger hours of pain. If this sounds like you, then you already know how exhausting it is to live with something as invisible yet as relentless as acid reflux. It doesn't show on your skin. It doesn't leave a bruise, but it burns through your sleep, your meals, your peace, and slowly, it starts to chip away at the quality of your life. And the worst part? You start to believe this is normal, that this is just what getting older feels like, that maybe you're just being dramatic. So you ignore it. You take another antacid. You lie back on the couch and hope it passes. But deep down, you feel it. Something isn't right. And your body keeps whispering it back every night when you try to sleep and feel that acid crawling up your chest like a silent enemy. You try to adjust. You eat earlier. You avoid tomato sauce. You sleep half-sitting. You cut down on coffee. And yet, somehow, the fire comes back. Sometimes stronger, sometimes quieter, like it's hiding, waiting to strike again. You start reading labels. You switch to lighter foods. You skip dinner entirely. But the truth that no one tells you is that some of the foods you think are helping might be the very ones fueling the fire. A plain slice of toast? Harmless, right? Except it's often enough to relax the valve that's supposed to keep acid in your stomach. A glass of milk? It feels soothing in the moment, but the fat and protein can trigger acid rebound. Even water, if taken in excess during meals, can dilute stomach acid and slow digestion, making reflux worse. It becomes a guessing game, a dangerous one, and you're always the one losing. What most people don't realize is that acid reflux is not just a stomach issue, it's a lifestyle invader. It robs you of pleasure, of rest, of spontaneity. You stop going out to dinner. You hesitate before accepting invitations. You sit near the bathroom just in case. You think twice before eating that dessert at your grandson's birthday. You plan your evenings around the possibility of pain. And in the middle of all this, you start to shrink. Not physically, emotionally. You begin to lose confidence in your own body. You stop trusting your digestion. You dread bedtime. You dread eating. And that dread, that constant fear, eats at your joy. And it's not fair. Because life was supposed to get lighter with time, not heavier. And then come the pills. They promise relief. Some even deliver it. For a while, you take them with hope. You carry them in your bag. You never leave home without them. But you also start to notice the side effects. The bloating, the headaches, the fatigue. You hear whispers about how long-term use might cause more harm than good, that they don't treat the root cause, that they just mask the symptoms. So now, not only are you still in pain, but you're confused. You start wondering if you'll ever be free from this cycle. And that's when frustration turns into hopelessness, when you start thinking, this is just how it's going to be, that maybe you're too old to fix it, that maybe nothing will work. But what if that's not true? What if your body isn't broken? What if it's just missing what it needs to fight back? You see, your body is not your enemy. It's trying to protect you. That burning sensation, that pressure in your chest, it's your body warning you, begging you to look closer, to make a change, not with more pills, but with real food, natural allies that have been quietly overlooked. Things your grandmother probably used. Foods that don't come with side effects, but with solutions. And they're not exotic. They're not expensive. You don't need to import anything or follow a complicated diet. You just need to know what works. And more importantly, you need to understand why it works. Because this isn't just about managing reflux. It's about restoring trust in your own body. About eating without fear. About sleeping without interruption. It's about standing up straight again without that invisible weight pressing down on your chest. Imagine waking up and not needing to plan your day around your symptoms. Imagine feeling calm after a meal instead of bracing for discomfort. Imagine reclaiming your routine, your joy, your energy. That's not a dream. That's a decision. And it starts with knowledge, with understanding which foods help, which ones heal, and which ones hurt. Most people are never told. They follow vague advice, avoid spicy foods, eat crackers, drink milk, and wonder why nothing changes. The truth is, healing reflux isn't just about what you take away, it's also about what you give your body to work with. Certain foods contain compounds that not only calm the fire, but rebuild the walls it's been burning through. They soothe, they seal, they protect. And when used correctly, they give your system a chance to reset, to recover, and to finally stop living in a constant state of alert. It's not a miracle. It's not magic. It's biology. It's nourishment. It's choosing to support your body instead of just silencing its voice. And once you feel that first moment of true relief, not just temporary ease, but real internal calm, you realize how long you've been living in survival mode and how ready you are to live again. If you've ever tried one of these natural remedies or felt that quiet relief after making a small change, share your experience in the comments. We'd love to hear your story. And if this video helped you in any way, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next step in your healing journey. Not all solutions come in a pill. Sometimes, the most powerful relief is found in a single glass of something green and foamy, sitting quietly in your kitchen. It doesn't come in shiny packaging. It's not promoted on television, and yet it holds a kind of healing that most people never discover. If you've been living with reflux, you've probably tried everything: antacids, proton pump inhibitors, digestive enzymes, maybe even expensive natural supplements that promise to rebalance your gut. But the truth is, there is one simple, natural drink that has helped thousands of people soothe their burning chest and calm their acid-worn stomach. And it comes from a leaf that most people walk past in the market without a second thought: the humble green cabbage known as kale. Yes, kale. Specifically, fresh kale blended raw into a juice, combined with a small amount of water and just a squeeze of lemon. It doesn't sound like much, but this drink is far from ordinary. It works not just because it's healthy, but because of what it does inside your body the moment you drink it. Kale is rich in compounds called glucosinolates and chlorophyll. These substances act as internal coolants, reducing inflammation in the stomach lining and helping to neutralize excess acid. But that's not even the most impressive part. What truly sets this drink apart is its ability to stimulate your body's natural mucosal defense system. That means it helps your stomach and esophagus produce protective layers of mucus that shield them from acid damage. And unlike medications that suppress acid production completely, this juice supports your digestion. It allows your stomach to function as it should, while offering it the tools to protect itself in the process. The lemon, though acidic in nature, actually triggers an alkalizing effect once metabolized. It helps the liver produce more bile, supporting better fat digestion and reducing pressure buildup that can lead to reflux. Together, kale and lemon create a kind of reset button for your digestive system. A simple blend, a small ritual, but the effects can be surprisingly profound. Many people feel hesitant at first. How can a green juice help something that feels so intense? But the body is more responsive than we think. One woman, age 63, shared that after drinking kale juice for just 3 mornings in a row, she was able to eat her breakfast without the usual fire creeping up her chest. Another man, 72, said it gave him back the ability to sleep flat in bed for the first time in years. These aren't isolated miracles. They are the results of giving your body what it recognizes, what it knows how to use, what it needs to heal. But timing is everything. To experience the real effects of kale juice, it must be consumed at the right moment. The best time is early in the morning, on an empty stomach, before any other food is introduced. This is when your digestive tract is most receptive, when the walls of your stomach and esophagus are ready to absorb what you give them. And just as important as timing is the way you prepare it. Never strain the juice. The fibers that remain after blending play a key role. They help sweep the digestive tract, collecting excess acid and food particles that may trigger reflux later in the day. Don't add sugar. Don't dilute it with fruit. Keep it simple. 1 handful of kale, half a cup of water, 1 squeeze of lemon. That's it. That's the formula. If you don't like the taste, you're not alone. It's bitter, earthy, strong. But healing isn't always sweet, and with time, your body starts to crave it. Not just because it brings relief, but because it brings clarity, calm, control, and that's something reflux takes away from you. The juice doesn't need to be taken forever. It's not a lifetime prescription. But in the beginning, as your body starts to recalibrate, it becomes a daily gift, a small step in the direction of recovery. There's also something powerful about the act itself, making the juice, drinking it slowly, feeling it move through your body. It's a reminder that healing is active, that you're not helpless, that you don't have to wait for relief to come from outside. You can create it with your own hands, with your own choices, with one small habit that fits into your morning routine and changes the way your whole day feels. You might notice that your breakfast doesn't trigger symptoms anymore, that your throat feels less tight, that your energy is steadier. You might even notice that you're standing taller, breathing easier, smiling more, because the absence of pain creates space. Space for joy, space for comfort, space to simply live. And it starts with a drink that seems too simple to work, but it does. Not by force, not by suppression, but by support, and that's the difference. Medications often try to silence the body. Kale juice teaches the body to speak again, to regulate, to heal, to rebuild. And once you give your system that kind of support, it starts to respond in ways you didn't think were possible anymore. The weight in your chest lifts, the fear of food fades, the fire begins to cool, and for the first time in a long time, you feel something that seemed out of reach: peace. Which of these foods do you feel most drawn to try first? Let us know in the comments. Your voice might inspire someone else. And if you're ready for more powerful insights like this, make sure to subscribe and stay close to our community. Sometimes, the most powerful remedies are the ones that don't feel like medicine at all. They're warm, gentle, sweet, comforting, like something your grandmother would have given you when your stomach hurt as a child. And among all the forgotten foods that carry healing inside them, one stands out not just for its taste, but for its incredible ability to soothe, repair, and protect your digestive system in a way that few people ever realize. It's not a fancy supplement or an exotic fruit. It's a humble, familiar ingredient that many people overlook or misunderstand. It's the banana, but not just any banana. Specifically, the green or semi-ripe plantain, cooked slowly, served softly, and embraced as a daily ritual of calm. The banana is more than a snack. When prepared the right way, it becomes one of the most effective natural allies against acid reflux, heartburn, and burning discomfort. The reason lies in its structure. Unlike sugary processed foods that trigger acid production, the plantain is loaded with resistant starch and natural mucilage. These compounds act like a protective gel inside your stomach. They coat the lining, creating a barrier that defends your tissues from acid damage. They also help repair what's already been hurt. If your esophagus feels raw or your stomach feels fragile, this food becomes a cushion, a warm, healing blanket from the inside. But there's more. Plantains have a calming effect on the entire digestive tract. Their texture and fiber content slow down digestion in a healthy way, preventing the quick spikes and drops in stomach activity that often trigger reflux. When you eat a soft, cooked plantain, your stomach doesn't panic. It doesn't release excess acid. It doesn't cramp or bloat. It receives the food gently, and in return, it begins to relax. That's how healing begins. Not through force, but through safety. People often assume that all bananas are the same. But there's a big difference between the typical ripe banana you eat raw and the green plantain used for cooking. The green version contains more of the compounds that benefit digestion. When boiled or baked, it becomes soft enough to eat easily and dense enough to keep you full without irritation. Many who suffer from reflux find that eating a portion of cooked plantain in the evening helps them sleep better. It keeps the stomach stable through the night. No acid surges. No burning throat at 2 a.m. Just quiet. Peace. And here's something few people talk about. Reflux is often worse in people who are undernourished in subtle ways. When your digestive tract lacks essential nutrients like potassium, magnesium, or vitamin B6, the muscles that control digestion become weaker. The valve between the stomach and esophagus becomes less efficient. Food stays longer in the stomach. Fermentation increases. Acid rises. But plantains are rich in exactly the kind of nutrients that support digestive muscle tone. They help restore balance, not just by what they remove, but by what they give back. There's also an emotional side to this. Food is not just fuel. It's memory. It's comfort. It's safety. And when you find a food that both calms your body and brings warmth to your spirit, something changes. You stop fearing mealtime. You stop associating eating with regret. You begin to rebuild trust. Not just in the food, but in yourself, in your body's ability to heal, in your right to feel well. Cooking the plantain is simple. Peel it while still green. Slice it into rounds or halves. Boil it in water with just a pinch of salt. Do not fry it. Do not mix it with heavy oils or sauces. Keep it clean. Let it be what it is. You can add a drizzle of olive oil after cooking if you want a bit of healthy fat, or sprinkle a touch of cinnamon if you enjoy a subtle sweetness. Some people enjoy it with a spoonful of plain yogurt on the side, which can also support gut health. Others mash it with a fork and eat it slowly, like a warm porridge. However you choose to prepare it, the key is consistency. One plantain won't change your life overnight, but adding it regularly into your meals can transform the way your body handles digestion. There's also an advanced tip for those who want to deepen the benefits. If you cook the plantain and then let it cool before reheating, you increase the amount of resistant starch, which acts like a prebiotic. This feeds the good bacteria in your gut, improving your microbiome and reducing inflammation throughout your system. It's a simple trick, but the impact over time can be incredible. Less bloating, better bowel movements, fewer reflux episodes, and more energy throughout the day. When you give your body food that heals instead of food that irritates, everything starts to shift. Your immune system calms down, your nervous system becomes less reactive, your sleep deepens, your mood lifts. And all of that begins with one overlooked, underrated, warm, and comforting food. A food that doesn't just fill your stomach, but helps repair the damage done by years of acid and anxiety. You begin to notice little things. You wake up without that bitter taste in your mouth. You go through the day without clenching your jaw. You sit down for meals with curiosity instead of fear. And somewhere along the way, you realize that you're not just eating differently, you're living differently. You're creating safety inside your body. You're listening to what it needs. You're choosing softness over stress. And your digestion responds with quiet, with ease, with strength you forgot it had. Has reflux ever affected your sleep or daily peace? Tell us below. Your words matter. And if you found this video helpful or comforting, hit that subscribe button so we can walk this path of healing together. There is a part of your body that rarely gets mentioned in conversations about reflux, yet it holds the key to true and lasting relief. It's not your stomach. It's not your esophagus. It's the small but powerful ring of muscle that sits between them, known as the lower esophageal sphincter. This tiny valve is what keeps acid where it belongs. When it functions well, you eat in peace. You sleep through the night. You go about your day without thinking twice about your digestion. But when it weakens or becomes too relaxed, everything changes. Acid escapes, it climbs, it burns, and suddenly, even the simplest meal becomes a risk. Most people focus on suppressing stomach acid, but the smarter path is to support the valve itself, to help it close fully, to strengthen its structure, and teach it to protect you the way it was designed to. And the surprising truth is that nature already gave us foods that can do exactly that. You don't need chemicals. You don't need surgery. You need consistency, awareness, and the right ingredients at the right time. One of those ingredients is so simple that it's often ignored. It's the flax seed, and when used correctly, it can become your most reliable digestive ally. Flax seed may look small, but its impact is massive. When soaked in water for several hours, these tiny seeds release a gel-like substance called mucilage. This gel behaves like a natural internal coating. It covers the lining of your esophagus and stomach, protecting it from acid exposure while also helping to regulate muscle movement. And this includes the very muscle responsible for closing the valve. Flaxseed gel supports muscle tone and helps keep pressure in the stomach where it belongs. It doesn't force anything. It reminds your system of how it was meant to work. The preparation is simple. Add 1 tablespoon of whole flax seeds to half a cup of filtered water. Let it sit overnight at room temperature. In the morning, stir it gently and drink the liquid, including the seeds if you like. It has a mild, earthy taste, nothing dramatic, but inside your body, it works quietly, reinforcing the natural barriers that keep you protected. And it does more than that. Flax seeds are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, which reduce inflammation and calm irritated tissues. They also contain soluble fiber, which supports smooth digestion and healthy gut bacteria. All of these elements together create a kind of harmony inside your system, one that encourages balance instead of chaos. Another overlooked food that helps strengthen this valve is ginger, but not in the spicy, aggressive way most people use it. Ginger must be respected. Used in small amounts, in warm infusions, it stimulates the digestive process gently. It encourages the stomach to empty efficiently, reducing pressure buildup that often pushes acid upward. A small slice of fresh ginger steeped in hot water for 5 to 10 minutes creates a calming tea that can be sipped before meals. This doesn't just reduce reflux episodes. It trains the stomach to process food more efficiently. Over time, this consistency helps restore the natural rhythm of digestion. Less fermentation, less gas, less acid escaping where it shouldn't. And perhaps the most important part of all this is what happens when you combine these strategies. When you start your day with a glass of kale juice, when you include soft cooked plantains in your meals, when you hydrate with flaxseed gel, when you calm your system with ginger tea. These aren't isolated tricks. They are pieces of a system that works with your body, not against it. A system that brings your digestion back to center, not by silencing it, but by nourishing it, because your body doesn't want to hurt you. It's not attacking you. It's doing its best with what you've given it. And when you start giving it foods that protect instead of irritate, that support instead of inflame, everything begins to shift. You feel lighter, more grounded, more at ease in your own skin. The pain that used to rule your schedule begins to fade. The fear that shadowed your meals begins to disappear. You remember what it's like to enjoy food, to breathe deeply, to sleep soundly. And all of that is possible without a single pill, just with the power of food, the power of rhythm, the power of knowing how to listen. So if you've made it this far, thank you. Thank you for taking this time for yourself. Thank you for choosing curiosity over resignation. Healing starts with a decision, and you've made it. You've taken the first step toward freedom, toward comfort, toward reclaiming the joy that reflux tried to steal from you. You are not alone, and you are not broken. You are powerful, and you are capable of healing in ways you were never told were possible. If this video brought you clarity, relief, or even a spark of hope, I invite you to continue this journey. Right now, on your screen, there's another video waiting for you. One that will take you even deeper into the foods that can transform your digestion and your life. Click it, watch it, let the next step find you, because your healing is not behind you. It's just getting started.